Energy, as we know, is always in the news, and at the moment it's falling oil prices and the effects of US fracking. And today's OPEC meeting provides key signals, we know, on the balance of supply and demand in the coming year.
Energy security has always been at the top of the agenda because the energy industry is the most important industry for the world. This is what provides the means of having our way of living. It's the basis of our civilization. It is something that many people are aspiring to in the world, and obviously providing safe and affordable energy to the world is the major objective of the energy industry.
The data on China is quite remarkable. We've had more than 25 years now of growth of averaging 8 or 9%. Total energy demand is up 300% since 1990. It's up 60% in the last decade. Oil use has doubled in less than 10 years, and China, one country, now uses more than 22% of all the energy used in the world every day.
Consumers are now becoming more and more empowered about how they use and relate to energy. And certainly it is economic in many, many places in the world now to put solar panels on your roof, to offset your existing power bills. And we see that trend continuing very strongly. And that's going to really upset the status quo in the energy system. It already is in many countries.
Just to give you a sense of how fast the sector has been growing, by 2013 we are a $250 billion industry in terms of total investment into the sector. And this is net new investment into the sector. So this is flows of money into the sector, mainly into renewables, but also other things as well. You'll notice towards the end of the chart, although it had been growing very rapidly by about 30% compound annual growth rate up to 2011, it fell somewhat in 2012, 2013. That was partly because a lot of policy support, in particular support that was introduced after the financial crisis for clean energy specifically, tailed off. But also, actually, the cost of clean energy is coming down. So part of this is actually per dollar you're getting better value for your money.
Russia is strongly dependent on the revenues for gas exports, so they constitute like 60% of all Gazprom's revenues, and Gazprom is the largest gas company in Russia. From the other hand, Europe is importing like Europe is consuming, which is more important, like 25–27% of all gas coming from Russia. So generally speaking, this mutual interdependence is so strong that just breaking all these ties because we have some political misunderstandings and difficulties, I don't think that it would be a rational choice.
So when you're saying what does it take to bring the price down, I think it's more than a bidding process.
Right.
Today the operators are kind of rebidding the stuff to get the price down. I think it's more about how do we collaborate to focus on breakthrough technologies who can significantly reduce cost in your field development.
Hydrogen is a very interesting animal. I think hydrogen will be the only storage technology, so to speak, that will enable long-term storage or even seasonal storage. Because you can store a large amount of electricity in hydrogen and convert it back into electricity. I think it will take a while before it's becoming economically feasible because you need large electrolyzers in order to generate the hydrogen.
So I think we are barely seeing the tip of the iceberg when it comes down to the use of data management and what we call big data for this industry. I think there's still a lot to come.
Yes.
And this can, I think that the biggest impact of this use of data can be seen, especially on the onshore operations, because whereas it's important on the offshore operations because of the big numbers involved,
yes,
it's particularly important on the onshore operations because the operation cycles are so much shorter than for offshore. The companies drill wells on a week or 10-day interval. Right. Managing the logistics, managing the delivery of sand, of rig parts, of any water for fracking, and doing that as efficient as possible could mean the difference between having a profitable project, profitable operations or not, especially now in this low oil cycle environment.
One of the most interesting markets for me is, of course, gas, because that's among fossil fuels, so that's one of the most dynamic ones. Not just in the region where I work, but also globally. Right. That's a market which changes pretty fast, particularly with the emergence of LNG and growing share of LNG in global trade, and also with technological revolutions. I mean, most people pay attention to shale oil revolution in the US at the moment, but let's not forget that it all started with shale gas. Right. Basically, I mean, that's oil and particularly gas markets are the ones that change quite rapidly, and it's very interesting to observe them and analyze them. And it's also important to bring objective information for everybody in the sector and in governments around the world to take informed decisions.
It's a funny industry, the upstream oil and gas, because we think 40 years in advance for everything except for people. So there's a drop in price now, and many oil and gas companies are trying to cut recruitment, not thinking that they will need these people, whatever the price regime is in 10 years. So what the oil and gas industry did in the mid-80s, when the price dropped, was to stop all recruitment. And then basically there was a freeze in recruitment for almost 20 years. And now, there is a huge talent shortage, what we call the big crew change. A lot of people are leaving the industry, and which is creating a lot of problems because we don't have enough technical people to make the right decision, and this has an impact on price. So we have the talent shortage, which is really a problem created by the wrong decision-making of the industry as a whole.
There's a lot of focus on the supply side. A lot of money is being committed over the next 15 years to trying to make our supply side more efficient. But in truth, if you can persuade people to reduce the amount of energy they use, then you're talking to the whole globe of 6 billion people, of whom probably 500 or a million or a billion people, 500 million or a billion people, are the ones who truly use most of the energy on our planet. Reaching them and trying to change their attitudes towards energy is probably an even more effective way of saving the planet.